Well, it's time to start. Would you all rise, please, and body your spirit, and join in singing hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit. Thank you. You're in good voice. Please be seated. So welcome and good morning to all. I am Klaus Obermeit, and I usually serve this congregation at the back of the sanctuary, controlling the cameras for our live stream YouTube live stream. Reverend Jay is out today because he has a stomach bug. We especially want to welcome our visitors both on campus and over that live stream. We invite our visitors to participate in any of our events. We welcome visitors to find out more about us and Unitarian Universalism. We invite you to consider registering on our virtual guest book, which you can find with a link on the homepage of our website at uusrq.org. There's a banner at the top marked Welcome Visitors. If you do, we will send you our weekly newsletter and Zoom link to our virtual events. If you are in person, there's a sign-up sheet for visitors on our welcome table right outside, and as always, we invite you to join us for coffee and conversations after the service. We look forward to getting to know you. We also look forward to getting to know our new Director of Finance and Operations, Jackie Martinez. Jackie, before you go back to your important work, please stand and let us recognize you. Okay. We have many special announcements today as reminders, since the time to register and participate is quickly approaching. You can register for these events in the courtyard or at the links posted in our weekly newsletter. On the first Sunday of every month, which is today, we invite those interested in becoming a member of this loving community to sign our membership book and a short ceremony in our minister's office, which is located directly across the courtyard in the Lexa wing. We hope to see you there. This Monday, we're looking for volunteers to pack food at All Faiths Food Bank starting at 1 p.m. Please sign up at the social justice table, which is at the far end of the courtyard. On Tuesday at 3 p.m., we're forming a UU Service Committee team. Learn more about this team by attending or seeing Linda Bodycomb at the social justice table. Linda, I think you're here. Would you stand? There she is way at the back, waving at us. Okay. On Saturday, April 20th, from 4 to 6 p.m., we will be celebrating Roberta Droof's 14-year dedication to our congregation in a splashy retirement party. I didn't write this, whatever. Don't forget to RSVP for this event by Monday, April 15. That's taking place on Saturday the 20th. 2 days later, on Monday, April 22nd, starting at 6 p.m., we are hosting a Passover Seder. It is open to everyone, whether you are of Jewish background or not. There is a $10 charge for adults. Please RSVP by Sunday, April 14th. That's next Sunday. Now let us settle into our worship service with our opening music.
Our opening reading is entitled Fasting with Words by Reverend J. Wolin. Welcome. Welcome to this place of fasting. Welcome to this place of respite. Welcome to this place of challenge. We find the time to come together, even it is for just 1 hour. To just sit and be, to be with yourself, to be with and for your fellow congregants, together on the religious journey. No phones to answer, no decisions to be made, no judgments given or received. To accept that we live in a world with the need for balance, to build resilience, to build peace, contrasted with the need to be unbalanced, if anything is going to change. And to live with that paradox among the myriad of choices that call to us, demand of us, ask of us, for a piece of us, but for this moment, in this hour, we resist that, and we recognize the holiness in ourselves, in each other, and the holiness in time itself. As we light our chalice, let it remind us of the light within us that always needs to be rekindled again and again and again. Let us be the spark for each other. As we light this chalice, please join me now in affirming our third principle: acceptance of one another and encouragement to the spiritual growth in our congregations.
Okay. I don't know if that's a sign. Can you hear me? You can hear me. I can hear myself. That's good. So this Tuesday, we'll see the end of the month of Ramadan in the Muslim faith. And as a Unitarian Universalist, we embrace the wisdom and teachings from other world religions. Yet I knew nothing about Ramadan and what it really meant for about 25% of the world's population. So this children's story helped me to understand. So our story today is Ramadan Moon by Naima B. Robert and illustrated by Shirin Adl. Ramadan, the month of fasting, doesn't begin all at once. It begins with a whisper and a prayer and a wish. As the month of Ramadan approaches, we search the sky for a sign, waiting, anticipating that silver sliver of brightness, the shining white crescent that is the Ramadan moon. And when the new moon is seen, wonderful excitement. The news spreads like wildfire through the cities, towns, and villages, across deserts and grasslands, and into each and every home. And Muslims of every nation, of every age, and every time, he will celebrate and join the celebration of the arrival of the moon. It's here. Ramadan is here. The month of mercy has begun. And in mosque after mosque, of every shape and size, men, women, and children will all stand up to pray. The Imam will recite the verses of the book that was revealed hundreds upon hundreds of years ago. So now we all wake up to eat in the dark before dawn, sleepy mouthful for the day ahead, while the silent city sleeps. Then Dad's clear voice rings out, calling all of us to pray. Our family bows like one body before the break of day. In the daylight, we feel hungry, but at sunset, we eat. It makes us a little thoughtful, a little humble, and very grateful. And each night, the moon grows fuller, like the ripe and tender fruit, shining on houses filled with laughter and mosques alive with prayer. And each night they come, unfailing, this seething congregation to reflect on the words of their Lord in silent celebration. And during the day, we keep busy with all sorts of good deeds. Our voices flow with the words of God and unplanned harmonies. We look for things to give away, money for charity, kind and caring and polite, trying hard not to get angry. Now the Ramadan moon is round and full, a bright silver medallion, but with a special secret sorrow. We see that half the month is gone. We watch her as she wanes, losing a sliver every night until we reach the last 10 days. and those last 10 days tinged with sadness when we try to share more, pray more, do more, and give more. And we look for the night of power, better than 1,000 nights. That extra special night when we ask for all that we desire, wishes upon wishes and prayer upon prayer. But then the last 10 days become the last 5, and the last 4 nights become the last 3, then 2, then the last. And when the new crescent moon is seen and the Eid day is announced, the Muslim world rejoices, for our festival has begun. For Eid, there will be haircuts and patterns and visitors and brand new clothes that rustle as we walk. And in the morning, there will be prayer, charity for the poor, family and friends, parties and outings, sweets and treats and more. But all that is tomorrow. Tonight, the city sleeps. And as I look out at the night sky, my smile is bittersweet. Goodbye, great month of mercy. Hope to see you soon. Please hurry back, my silver friend, my beautiful Ramadan moon. So for Muslims, Ramadan is the month of mercy and love, when Allah's forgiveness descends upon the entire earth, realigning souls from the fire of separation toward the embrace of the divine. The month-long fast is not supposed to be a hardship, but is to foster gratitude and thankfulness in the hearts of the believers. And while there's no creed for Unitarian Universalists to believe in a God or Allah, nor is there any requirement to fast at any time, we do embrace building a loving community, nurturing our spirit, and helping to heal our world. So now I invite our children, our youth, to join their teachers in their classrooms to explore the concept of interdependence, which is our Soul Matters theme for the month of April. Thank you.
Let us now share some words for centering, followed by a minute of silence and then song. Food bears wisdom and bears knowledge, and love and tenderness are born from it. But when it bears illusion and ill will, neglect and ignorance, know it's forbidden. You will not sow wheat for barley to come up. And does a mare produce an ass's colt? Food is the seed, and thoughts are all its fruits. Food is the sea, and thoughts are all its pearls.
Surprise, it's me. Oh, as many of you have seen, the title of the first reflection is Food, Glorious Food, as done by this very creative, I don't know, is this a bouquet of food that we have in front of us? And it is aptly named for today because we have been talking about Ramadan and feasting, but unfortunately for Reverend J, not so much. So let us get started with an informal poll. So by a show of hands, how many of you have either had something to eat or to drink this morning? Very good, very good. Now, second question. You don't have to raise your hand, just contemplate. Could you have gone all day from sunrise to sunset without having a drink of even water or food? Could you have gone about your daily life while fasting today? Well, during the month of Ramadan, Muslims around the world do just that because it is, in a broadly speaking way, a month-long way to cultivate self-discipline, and it's kind of a sort of a spiritual detox that brings about good habits of worship and day-to-day practices to be carried throughout the year. It is a holy time for the Islamic faith, a time to become closer with God. But this theme of food and spiritual practices is common for many religions, whether a recognized world religion or one more native to an area. Food is considered sacred in many cultures, And there are religious laws about who can prepare food, what can be eaten or not, how food is to be prepared, who is allowed to eat food, and when are they allowed to eat. So, in Judaism and in Islam, there are strict laws about foods and food preparation that seem to emphasize the notion of obedience to God and following the traditions out of a sense of duty. We have all heard about eating kosher, which is a Hebrew word that means fit or proper. And the laws of kosher are very complex and extensive. In terms of meat, you can have sheep, cattle, goats, and deer. They're considered kosher, while camels, rock badgers, new species for me, hares, and pigs are not. Shellfish, such as lobster and clams, are forbidden, but fish with fins and with scales like salmon are okay. Birds of prey cannot be eaten, but it is fine to eat chicken or geese, ducks, and turkey. And all animals have to be killed in the manner described in Jewish laws and drained of blood. Meat and milk cannot be eaten at the same time, and depending on the sect of the Jewish faith that you are in, even within 6 hours of each other. So many Jewish households have separate sets of utensils, plates, and cooking ware to keep the meats and the milk segregated. Food, of course, plays a big part in the Passover Seder that is going to be coming up soon, with different types of food being symbolic of the trials of the Jews fleeing Egyptian bondage. So in the Islamic faith, you eat halal, which means permitted, and not those considered haram or forbidden. Halal includes fruits, vegetables, grains, beef, poultry, lamb, and seafood. Haram includes pork, birds of prey, carnivorous animals, and alcoholic beverages, and blood or any animal not killed according to their laws. So note the similarities between the Jewish and Islamic forbidden list. Pork is at the top of the list, along with animals not killed in accordance with their laws. So Christianity obviously does not adhere to such strict dietary laws as found in Judaism or Islam, but it too has certain restrictions at times. For example, in Catholicism, meat is not allowed on Fridays during Lent. Seventh-day Adventists avoid alcohol, fish, poultry, and other meat, but will eat some animal products such as eggs and dairy. But like Judaism, food plays symbolic roles, as in the sacrament of the Eucharist. According to the Pew Research report, the majority of Indian adults, that's 81%, follow some restrictions of meat in their diet. The vast majority of Jains say they are vegetarian as a result of following their practice of nonviolence and their strict rules for protection of all life. For this reason, they do not eat eggs, fish, meat, or poultry, and actually avoid most root vegetables because to harvest the root kills the entire plant. They do not eat honey because the collection of honey is violent to the bees. Hindus do not eat beef because cows are considered sacred. And while Hindu texts praise a vegetarian diet, only 44%, according to the Pew Research report, define themselves as vegetarian. Pork is not prohibited to Hindus, but it is considered an impure meat. There are no set dietary laws in Buddhism, and customs vary from region and sect. So lacto-vegetarianism is common due to the principle of nonviolence and the avoidance of suffering. This means that they consume a vegetarian diet with some dairy products, but they too avoid eggs, poultry, fish, and meat. Some followers avoid consuming strong-smelling plants like garlic, onion, chives, leeks, and shallots, as these vegetables are thought to increase sexual desire when eaten, when it is cooked, or anger when they are eaten raw. Mormons follow a code called the Word of Wisdom, which they believe God revealed to them in 1833. This code calls Mormons to abstain from alcoholic beverages, tobacco, coffee, tea, and illegal drugs, all of which are considered mind-altering. Mormons are advised to eat respectfully with appreciation through portion control, zero waste, and avoidance of overindulgence. Grains are touted as the staff of life for man and beasts, and meat is to be eaten sparingly. So you know what, all of this is very fascinating, but what does that have to do with me and my life as a Unitarian Universalist? All in good time. Have patience. For me, Unitarian Universalism is a faith that inspires creativity and questioning and the search for truth and meaning for my own spiritual health. Raised in a non-religious household, unless you consider NFL football Sundays a religion, I cannot help but wonder how or why did all of these food restrictions become religious laws? Why are pigs so taboo? Well, if you believe in a single creator of the heavens and the earth, why would God or Allah declare in the Old Testament that pigs were unclean? Or are they unclean because early man observed that eating pigs made people sick more often than eating other animals? And in trying to determine why, they also noticed that pigs will pretty much eat anything, including carrion and garbage. Yuck! So, of course, God must have said not to eat them, right? Of course, we know today that pigs carry out many more viruses and parasites such as trichinella. Another thought, though, is from anthropologist Marvin Harris. He thinks that pigs were banned on an ecological, economical reason, since the Middle East has little of what pigs like, which is water, lots of water, and shady areas. Herds of pigs can also be destructive to the land. Chickens, on the other hand, are much more portable and an efficient source of meat. There is also speculation that the taboo on pigs was a way for the Israelites to distinguish themselves from their pig-eating Philistine neighbors. Nobody knows for sure, but I confess, my religious relationship with bacon may have me biased. I suspect that all of these religious dietary laws or recommendations were based on health observations, on what sickened people. Illness occurs after eating uncooked or undercooked meats, likely led to the Jewish and Islamic laws to remove blood from meats, either through a salting process or broiling, which kills bacteria either chemically or with heat. We know eating fewer meats and more vegetables is also healthier for people, as is limiting or avoiding alcohol and caffeine. However, I could not find anything scientifically that supports why you cannot have milk and meat at the same time. Does anybody here know? No? Somebody, yes?
You can't kill cows because they give milk.
That's an interesting thought.
I've heard that it's also about, the milk and the meat. The milk is mothering the calves, the piglets. It's like bringing a child together with a parent and
Yes. And those are common reasons that are explained as to why you don't do that, but there is no scientific reason that I know of that says why you cannot have meat and milk together. But one blogger claimed that if you eat milk and meat together, it produces more gas and bloating. But that could have just been her. Just don't know. But I do know one thing that will not create bloat, and that is your generous financial contribution to help support our programs, maintain our beautiful campus, and sustain our staff. You can use the QR code on the screen or on the order of your service, or the links provided on our website or in the YouTube description to make a contribution. We are grateful for your generosity. Let this sacred time begin.
The following reading is from the book Fasting for Ramadan, Notes from a Spiritual Practice by Kazim Ali, a poet and Muslim in the United States. The morning of the second day. How easy to be drawn from attention to the world around me. Not wanting to be irritable, I find it almost too much effort to talk to the people around me about quotidian things. Who missed a meeting? Who was supposed to sweep the dining room floor? Where the lost keys are. But am I supposed to forget about these things and be at swirl of spiritual attention? If our entire life is one side, our entire death another, if the entire daylight fast is one side, the entire night another, what if shifting between spiritual attention and physical attention to the facts of the world and the ability to maintain balance is the entire point? Tempting to think so, but I think there's no entire point to fasting. The oddest of puzzles, that which has 101 solutions. Last night, one of the cats knocked over a cup of water onto my books. I was so distraught I could have wept. A day of equipoise and blissing out in the fast did not so much evaporate from me as suddenly stand out in sharp relief to the parts of me that were still very tied to material existence. Another benefit to the fast, you learn who you are, and then who you really are. And who you really are is not always as close to or as far from who you are as you imagined. But you never really know, do you? But I think one of the tricks I need to learn is how to manage both. As the month progresses, I will have to learn how to fast and how to sweep the dining room and find the lost keys.
Thank you so much for your musical offerings today. So, we are in a period of reflection around the world. And for me, once again, as a not religious, not raised in a religious household, I ask questions, the how and the why. But lately, my question has been, does it serve me? Does this practice serve me? What does it give to me? So then from our centering words today, this stuck. Food bears wisdom and bears knowledge. Food is the seed, and thoughts are all its fruits. So food is both a metaphor and a source of survival, both physically and spiritually. Food has always been a sacred essence, and in the formation of many religious orders around the world, it was one of the most cherished things to sacrifice. It was the source of life, the source of survival, and early peoples looked at sacrificing or denying themselves of food as a way to become closer to that unknown force that seems so prevalent in their lives. Fasting is ubiquitous in all religious orders. During Ramadan, the requirement to fast is a way to be obedient to the laws that Allah set forth in the Quran. It is not meant as punishment, but as a way for Muslims to renew their awareness of and gratitude for everything God has provided in their lives, including the Quran, which was first revealed during that month. And during Ramadan, they share the hunger and the thirst of the needy as a reminder of their religious duty to help those that are less fortunate. Christians often fast on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday as a solemn reminder of human mortality and the need for reconciliation with God. Fasting is an outward expression of an inward commitment to pursue God. Jewish fasting on Yom Kippur sets the tone for reflection on sincere regret for and rectification of wrongdoing. Other religions, such as Buddhism and Hinduism, also have traditions that involve fasting. Fasting is viewed as a means to help improve self-control, increase spiritual awareness, and foster empathy for the less fortunate. In Native American cultures, they fast to go on vision quests, and some fast in the fall to rid themselves of negative energy, and then again in the spring to renew their positive energy. So fasting, like meditation, seems to take you to another level of awareness, a clearing of the mind to be open to the wonder of the divine spirit that is in us or around us. Fasting in moderation is also healthy for the body as well as the mind. Unitarian Universalists, we don't have a requirement for fasting or meditating. However, many of us do spend time quietly reflecting on our own spiritual understandings, on the guiding principles of our faith, and how we are to be in this world. For those of other religions, following their dietary laws brings them closer to those same things. So now let us sing our closing hymn, 1010, We Give Thanks. Our closing words are from Thich Nhat Hanh, The Heart of the Buddha's Teaching. Much of our suffering comes from not eating mindfully. We have to learn ways to eat that preserve the health and well-being of our body and our spirit. We have to look deeply to see how we grow our food so we can eat in ways that preserve our collective well-being, minimize our suffering, and allow the earth to continue to be a source of life for all of us. So let us extinguish our chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of